Hello and welcome or welcome back to Sildervile Tarot. Today we'll be exploring the energies around your connection. We'll see what your person is feeling, whether they're likely to reach out, and when that might happen. Take a moment to ground yourself, take a deep breath, and connect with your intuition. We have 3 piles today. Pile 1 is represented by the Judge archetype and pink jasper. Pile 2 is represented by the Ocean archetype and green jasper. Pile 3 is represented by the Healer archetype and this black and brown crystal. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I thought it might be jasper, but if you recognize it, please comment below. Choose the pile you're most drawn to, whether it's a color, a shape, a number, or a crystal that calls to you. You can pause the video here if you'd like. I'll see you at your reading. Hi, Pile 1. If you chose the card, the Judge, or this pink jasper, this is going to be your reading. I'm really drawn to the imagery of this card. It's so expressive. The Judge is going to represent your person. You are represented by arrows. And right away, I feel that you're operating from very different places. You, as arrows, experience connection through feeling, through emotional pull and presence. When something matters to you, you feel it in your body. You don't need 10 reasons for it to be real. The feeling itself is the reason. Eros doesn't approach love lightly, but it does approach it openly. Your person, on the other hand, is represented by the Judge. And the Judge is not unfeeling, but they are careful. This is someone who wants to understand what something means before they fully step into it. They weigh things, they reflect, they consider consequences, timing. So in this dynamic, you're already inside the experience. They are deliberating whether to let themselves go. This can create a sense of imbalance. You may feel like you are already emotionally present, already invested, while your person seems to be observing, thinking, or holding back. And that can be confusing because from your perspective, the feeling is already real. So with that in mind, what I want to do now is look a little deeper into their inner world. I'm going to pull tarot to explore their feelings toward you, not just what they show, but what's really going on underneath. 7 of Wands, Page of Cups, Ace of Wands, the Empress, the Hierophant. The Devil. What I'm picking up very clearly here is a fight within themselves. On one hand, at times, they think that they want something more with you, something serious, commitment, a relationship. I do have to mention that for a few of you, the Hierophant can signify proposals or marriage. But I feel that for most of you, we're talking about going from dating to exclusivity, or from a situationship to a relationship. So at times, that's where their head is at. They have feelings for you, but I feel like they are not rooted yet with the Page of Cups. That's why I feel we're in the early stages of a connection. Their heart is engaged, but there's a lot of curiosity. Let's see where things might go, rather than a deep love at this time. What is very clear, though, is their attraction to you. And not just physical attraction, although that is absolutely present. But they see you as this incredible person, as if you incarnate femininity, wisdom, care, emotional depth. Their opinion of you is very high. But there's this fight within themselves. One part of them is drawn to you and can imagine something more, but there's the other part of them that wants to keep things light, casual. For some of you, this person may be afraid of commitment in general. For others, it's more about timing, feeling like they're not ready right now, even with you, who they see as truly an amazing person. And that creates tension inside them because they feel that you're not someone they can easily treat as just casual. They want you in their life. They do. And there is a lot of passion. I feel their doubts are not whether to keep you in their life or not, but they're about whether to commit or keep things casual. Maybe things between you started out casual from the beginning, or at least without expectations. Maybe that was the agreement, spoken or unspoken. Or if you're not in a connection with this person yet, maybe this is what they're looking for. They're not looking for a relationship or dating. But something shifted. What happened is they started to feel a spark of real feelings towards you. They weren't planning on it. It's unexpected even for them, but they started having feelings for you. And I feel that's where their internal fight is coming from. At first, it was purely attraction, but as they got to know you, they saw the kind of person you are, someone they hold in high regard, someone they respect. Their opinion of you is very high, and feelings started to develop. These feelings are at a very early stage. They're still young, they're not fully rooted yet, but they're present enough that this person is questioning whether to acknowledge them, whether to reveal them. They're pondering within themselves. That's where the internal fight comes from. What I find really interesting here is this dichotomy between the Hierophant and the Devil. If you notice, the drawings of the cards really mirror each other. And because these are both major arcana, I feel that they represent him as a person, who they are at their core. No wonder they're confused in this situation with you. They found their Empress, this perfect partner in their eyes, and now they don't know what to do. Let me be clear about what I see with this Hierophant and Devil. I feel that they're someone quite traditional at their core. Not necessarily in a rigid or conservative way, but in the sense that they were raised with certain values, certain ideas of what an ideal relationship looks like. Deep down, they've always known that at some point in their life, they wanted that type of traditional relationship. Something stable, committed, meaningful. Now, what that traditional relationship looks like can vary wildly. For some of you, this could mean the classic image. This could mean that they knew that at some point in their life they would settle down, marry, and have kids. But for others of you, this can simply mean that they know what a healthy, committed relationship looks like, and they want that for themselves at some point. This can also speak to someone who values tradition, who values the traditions of their family, of their culture, and wants a traditional relationship following the context of the culture they're in. What I want to stress is that they know they want that kind of relationship at some point in their life. It doesn't mean necessarily that the time is now. Even though with these cards of internal battle and the Page of Cups, they're definitely thinking about it. But it's a spark of an idea. I wouldn't hold my breath just yet for most of you. But the idea crossed their mind. They've considered the possibility that you could be the person they build something with. With the Page of Cups being here, I feel they want first to get to know you better. I really feel that for most of you, this connection is in the early stages. But if it's not, if this is someone you have history with, they know your worth. They truly admire you. Their high opinion of you never changed. And I actually feel a sense of renewal here, like a spark was reawakened between you. Maybe you bumped into each other and had a beautiful interaction. Maybe they reached out. Maybe you reached out, and let me tell you, it was welcomed. Or if this is someone you're currently in a relationship with, I feel this internal fight I see is about whether to take things a step further. It can be a proposal, or it can be getting to a place where you're more open about your feelings. Maybe it speaks of more heart-to-heart conversations, deeper conversations about your feelings, your fears, what you want, your dreams. Now, I have to mention that with this Devil, I feel like up until now, they've never considered pursuing a serious relationship. I feel like they were guided by what felt good in the moment and never looked for something more. It reinforces my feeling that this connection may have started casually, or at the very least, that casual was the intention on their side. The Devil can reinforce this Ace of Wands when we talk about attraction. They're very attracted to you. There are multiple cards indicating attraction. And this fight within themselves is definitely with the feelings they have started to develop for you. It's like they want to know you better. They want to plan something sweet. They want to show you they care. They want to text more intentionally. But the devil is stopping them. Not because they don't care, but because part of them doesn't want to care. Again, they may not feel ready for a commitment or for taking things a step forward. And I have to say, for some of you, the devil can also speak to bad coping mechanisms, to addiction, to following impulses over reason and over feelings. Take it only if it resonates. But I feel for some of you, this person might be someone who likes to party, who hides their sorrow with substances, or simply who jokes to deflect serious conversations. I want to pull one oracle card to clarify this devil and what other nuances it might carry. I ended up pulling two. The first says, new love, learning each other, flirtations. The second says, romantic getaway, spending time together, enjoying one-on-one time. I feel like when interrogating the devil, these are actually very good cards to get. They both speak to romance, to love, to getting to know each other. The way I see it, there might be two very different situations. For a few of you, this can indicate escapism, using romance to escape from personal problems, staying in the fantasy of a new connection to avoid facing reality. And because these cards are clarifying the devil, it doesn't mean they look for a deep connection. But I think for the majority of you, these cards actually tell me a completely different story. I feel these cards sort of sweeten the devil energy. Since they talk about romance, love, and learning each other, I feel that they perfectly echo the message of all the other tarot cards, and they soften the cautionary tale of the devil. I feel that the devil in this case might be a tendency to keep things light, but this connection with you feels different. We're seeing that, first of all, they know that eventually they won't keep things light anymore. Second, we see that their opinion of you is so beautiful that they genuinely see you as someone who could be very good for them. Depending on your situation, it might be that they want to pursue you romantically, as in having a committed relationship, or they see you as the perfect person for them with whom to settle down for life. But here's the catch. As we said, their thoughts are currently a mess, and they're currently fighting their feelings. With this Empress representing you, there is also the possibility that they think that they don't have enough to offer you, that you deserve better. On the other hand, let's not forget that they're fighting with themselves, specifically because they are developing feelings. These feelings just began, it's a seed, but they want to know you better, more in depth. They're fighting also whether to admit them. A part of them is fighting with the excitement of telling you, of confessing their feelings. So let's see the outcome of this internal fight. Let's ask the important question. Will they reach out? Six of Pentacles. The Emperor. The High Priestess. The Eight of Pentacles. What I'm seeing here is not a sudden confession. I don't see them admitting their feelings anytime soon. I don't see making a grand gesture anytime soon. I don't see communication anytime soon. What I do see, and what I think you might influence if you are hoping to hearing from them soon, or having some gesture towards you soon, is the Six of Pentacles. It talks about equilibrium. It talks about balancing what you give and what you take. It talks about reciprocity. They're very set in this Emperor energy right now. Oh, by the way, I want to mention signs. They can be yours, theirs. Maybe they're prominent in your charts, but they don't have to be. I see Aries, Taurus, Capricorn, and Taurus again. Cancer too. And throughout, I see a lot of earth and fire energy. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Maybe this is confirmation for some of you. Going back to their Emperor energy, clarifying the Six of Pentacles, they ponder, they observe, but they're set in their ways. They're aware of how and how much they show. They won't make a move just yet. And this is where your energy matters. What you can do if you want communication or a specific gesture is making it yourself. But wait, with balance. They'd respect you and welcome it, but not if you overextend yourself. It's very important to maintain a balance of give and take for them. So what I'm saying is, if maybe the last few times they were the one reaching out to you, maybe you can reach out to them. But if you do, let it be a simple text, maybe just a hello. They wouldn't respond kindly to any grand gesture. And because we have both the Emperor and the Empress, they're in divine masculine energy and you're in divine feminine energy. So balance is even more important. If you think about it, why should there be one chasing the other? There shouldn't be. So what I'm saying is not reach out blindly, but if it was them reaching out to you multiple times, making the first move over and over again, I feel it can be your turn because I don't see them doing it being an Emperor energy and being in a fight with themselves. If you feel like you're already doing more emotionally, energetically, or practically, then that's your sign to pause, to wait, to let them come toward you when they're ready. Now, if we look at the High Priestess, I want to draw your attention to the fact that we have both the High Priestess and the Hierophant. We have both the Emperor and Empress, and the High Priestess and the Hierophant. These are such beautiful signs. For some of you, as I said earlier, they genuinely see you as the person for them, for life. They see you as their perfect counterpart. For a few of you, yes, this can even extend to thoughts of marriage or a lifelong partnership. So I cannot stress this enough. Remember the balance. The movie The Substance just popped into my mind. Respect the balance. It's so random. Maybe it's significant for some of you. Back to us. If you have a doubt whether you're chasing them, that's your sign to stop. If you're okay with waiting, wait and let them do the first move. They will eventually. Later we'll look at timing. I want to first mention that with this Eight of Pentacles, they are already thinking about making a move. They're not acting yet for all the reasons we mentioned so far. Plus, the High Priestess adds another reason. They're unsure about how you feel, how you would receive a move from them. Whether it's something small like a text or an admission of their feelings or a big gesture. You feel hard to read to them, not in a negative way, but in a mysterious way, and they don't want to misstep. For those of you who are already in a committed connection, this can even show up as them quietly preparing something bigger, a conversation, a proposal, the next step, but hesitating because they're not sure if you're on the same page yet. The High Priestess together with the Hierophant can again talk about a proposal or marriage. If that's the stage you're at, they're crafting it already with the Eight of Pentacles. But for some reason, they're not sure how you will receive it. Maybe you haven't talked about it. Maybe you haven't talked about marriage or planned a life together yet. And they know this proposal will catch you off guard. Okay, back to those of you who are not at that stage yet. I see that this person is concretely thinking about reaching out. Maybe they already have in their mind the text ready word for word. Maybe they have the idea of a gesture ready. But on top of fighting with themselves on those feelings they're developing for you, there's the layer of how will they receive my gesture? I have the strong feeling, as I mentioned earlier, that you don't know each other very well yet. For some, it can be literally the start of a connection. For others, it can be that you haven't gone in depth in your conversations yet. And as they feel they're just getting to know you, you're hard to read for them. That's why they're waiting to make a move. They want a balanced connection, and right now you're very hard to read, so they wait. So now let's look at timing. I want to pull one tarot card to indicate timing and some oracle cards. With tarot, timing is approximate, but it sometimes points in a specific direction. Let's see what comes up. When are they most likely to reach out? Two of Pentacles. They're very indecisive. It can go either way, very soon or in a while. But I feel the card points towards a longer timeline just because they're very indecisive about it. Another layer of this card is that they might be very busy at the moment with commitments, school, work, responsibilities, and they genuinely wouldn't have time to devote to you. Now, Oracle cards. Okay, this card jumped out. Ask other people for help. It's peculiar because it's not a card indicating timing. What it tells me are two things. If you're itching for communication, reach out to a friend, to a family member, and take your mind off of it. Go out, have fun, let them ease your anxiety. The second thing is, if you want to be a little more sneaky, ask other people to prompt your person. This can work just in a few cases, but maybe your friends would gladly organize a group outing you both attend. Or maybe a mutual friend can mention you in passing so that they will think about you. It's a little sneaky. I don't want to recommend it, but I feel like sometimes it can be a bit of harmless fun, and you can have a laugh with your friends. Another card is July. Now, this is a timeless reading, so it has to make sense for you. It can mean. Another card is July. Now, this is a timeless reading, so it has to make sense for you. It can mean multiple things, either literally the month of July, either the number 7 or the number 21, as the card is number 21. Depending on the time of year you're currently in, it doesn't have to indicate July, but if July is far away, it can indicate they will take a while before reaching out. If July is closer, it might indicate they will reach out sooner rather than later. I want to pull one final oracle card for guidance. Letting go. The message is, the only security lies in letting go. I feel it talks to letting go of the need to hear from them, letting go of the waiting, of the overthinking, of the wondering. Things will unfold when they are meant to. As the card reminds you, security lies in letting go. Trust the natural pace of this connection, and whatever happens next, you will be okay. And we've arrived at the end of your reading, Pile 1. I hope this reading resonated with you and offered insight and reassurance. Feel free to leave a comment, share your thoughts, or just say hi. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Silver Veil Tarot for more readings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye! Hi, Pile 2. If you chose the Ocean card or this green jasper, this is going to be your reading. The ocean in this reading will be the card representing your person. To represent your energy, we have the bridge. Right away, I feel that there's a dynamic here of depth and connection. You, as the bridge, are steady, grounded, and able to create understanding and connection. You help others feel seen, guided, and supported. Your person, represented by the ocean, is deep, complex, and sometimes hard to fully read. They have emotional layers, sometimes calm and reflective, sometimes intense and unpredictable. Being in connection with them is like standing at the edge of the ocean. There's so much to explore, but it takes patience. So immediately, I notice that you are naturally offering connection and stability while they are navigating their depth and emotions. They might feel pulled toward you, yet also cautious or unsure about fully opening up. This can create tension. From your perspective, it might feel like they're distant or hard to pin down. From their perspective, they are simply trying to navigate a connection in the only way they know how to. And with that in mind, let's go deeper into their inner world. I'm going to pull tarot now to explore their feelings toward you, not just what they show, but what's really going on underneath. The Lovers. 8 of Cups. Eight of Wands. Four of Cups. Four of Swords. Seven of Pentacles. This person has definitely feelings for you, but most importantly, they want this connection. The lovers isn't just about divine counterparts. It's about divine counterparts, yes, and if it resonates with you, this is confirmation that they think this is soulmate energy. It goes really well with the ocean. They have this depth in their feelings all the time. I can see them thinking about soulmates. If this is not for you, the lovers still signify a profound bond, regardless of the stage the connection is in. And then, I have to say, with the bridge and this Eight of Cups, I feel someone is moving on from a past connection or from a past situation where there was a lack, where there wasn't emotional fulfillment. This could absolutely be a past relationship, if this applies to you. But it doesn't have to be just that. I can see different scenarios. I can see you and this person meeting while one of you was in a connection with someone else in the past. Not right now. I want to reassure everyone, I don't get third-party energy from this pile. But whether it's you or them, you have moved on completely from this past connection, if it applies. I can even see you having history with this person. The cards might indicate that you were previously in a relationship and that it ended because something was unbalanced, something was missing. But like the Eight of Cups reminds us, things weren't actually unbalanced. It was a perception. And I can see you wanting to get back together with this person, especially with your energies being the ocean and the bridge. The ocean can be overwhelming, can sweep you up, tides can change. But with this bridge, I feel that for some of you, it represents extending a bridge to this ocean person from her past and rekindling the connection. If this is a new connection, I have to say I don't see it as having no history completely. But if it's brand new, if it's a crush, if it's someone you have been on only a couple of dates with, there is real potential because the lovers indicates an important moment, an important connection in your life. If it's a new connection, there is the potential for a very meaningful bond, even one that can teach you substantial personal growth. Another possibility I see is that you and this person have been friends for a long time, and now you wonder whether there can be something more. Now, I was saying that for most of you, I feel this isn't someone completely new or someone you don't know very well, because the lovers talk about choice, and I feel you're choosing one another. So I want to say, first of all, that your feelings are reciprocal. This isn't one-sided. No matter the history, the stage, or the timing, the feelings are mutual. That said, I also have to say that their feelings, while they are definitely there, are also a little messy at the moment. I see some contradictions in the cards. Let's unpack them. In terms of emotions, romantic gestures, feelings, they want to make a move towards you. It could be as simple as a text that indicates to you that they're interested. It can be the suggestion of doing something together. It can be an invite on a date. It can be confessing their feelings for you, or it can even be the suggestion of rekindling your past connection. And I get the sense that for some of you, you're not expecting this at all. It might catch you by surprise. Well, maybe not after this reading. Also, I'm called to this fluctuating cup in the Four of Cups. And paired with the Eight of Wands, I really feel this means some kind of gesture towards you, and they can't wait to do it. The Eight of Wands is fast movement. It can be excitement. It can be being full of ideas, of enthusiasm. So on one hand, they want to make this offer soon. On the other hand, we have the Four of Swords. This is pausing, waiting, resting. I can't help but link it back to the Eight of Cups, that sense of leaving the past behind. Whether it's a past relationship of yours or theirs, there's a bit of tending to old wounds, working on themselves, and that makes them hesitate. Maybe they think it's not the time to make this romantic offer. Maybe they think it's too soon. But I want to stress that it's their perception. It's what they think. And I get the sense that they might be overthinking a little because the cards make it very clear that past is done. It's in the past. For those of you who are previously in a relationship with this person, this can absolutely reflect that. They overthink a bit. They can feel that it's different this time, but their thoughts are, what if it's not? What if it's too soon? What if they don't feel the same? So, what I see is that they're itching to make a gesture towards you. They're really enthusiastic about it, but their head is telling them to wait. Wait until things feel clearer, or until both of you have had time to process the aftermath of that past connection. The Seven of Pentacles reinforces the theme of waiting. Not only their head is telling them to rein in their heart, but external circumstances might also be in the way. Maybe there's practical stuff left over from the past. Maybe it's just an arid, busy period for one or both of you. Maybe you don't have time in your schedules to see each other that often. Maybe there's physical distance between you two. Either way, they feel that things are moving really slow and they're not thrilled about it. Partly because, as we saw with the Eight of Wands, they can't wait to move things forward. These delays you might be experiencing due to outside circumstances feel very frustrating, partly because they really like you, and partly because the more life gets in the way, the more doubts creep in and they ask themselves, will there be a better time for us? And especially with them being the ocean, deep, driven by feelings, and with a powerful card such as the Lovers showing up, they're someone decisive at their core, and they need depth in the connection. I want to pull a couple of oracle cards to clarify why their head is telling them to wait. Why is the Four of Swords here? The first card says low self-worth, negative body image, feeling judged. The second says mature efforts, being responsible. So there can be a few different scenarios. For some of you, this pause, this waiting, can be linked to self-doubt. I mentioned this briefly earlier, and I feel this is only for a few of you because the other cards don't really talk about this. But maybe they are not sure about your feelings towards them, or maybe they want to wait until they can make you a meaningful offer. But for the majority of you, I feel their reason for waiting is different. They want to be responsible. They want for everything to be aligned, for these external circumstances to clear out. For this gesture they want to make towards you to be well thought out and meaningful. I want to reiterate that they do have feelings for you. They choose to pursue this connection actively, and they would like to make a move towards you. But external circumstances or their thoughts, or both, might be in the way. Before moving on, I want to mention signs. And I have to say, we have the full zodiac here, so it's not very helpful. But a prominent sign, it's Gemini. It could be your sun sign, it would be theirs. Maybe it's prominent in your charts, but it doesn't have to be. This might be confirmation for some of you. Now, let's look at if and when these obstacles will lift, and whether they will reach out to you. King of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. Page of Pentacles. Okay, this is such beautiful energy. First of all, I want to say this is not fast-moving energy. We'll look at timing with tarot and oracle cards later, but in terms of energy, this is slow but very deliberate energy. They know what they want and they will move towards it. And what they want is a future with you. Something meaningful, something that lasts, something that grows. So, our question, will they reach out? Yes, and it's a yes with flying colors. But will it be soon? I don't see it. Pentacles is very slow-moving energy. Even though we have a page here, and pages are messengers, this is the slowest page of all. This page brings an offer, a concrete offer, but it's a very well thought out offer. Something that is evaluated, planned, definitely not rushed. So if you're hoping for a spontaneous text or a sudden rush of energy from them, that's not what this is. But what this is something much deeper. They're not rushing because they want to get it right. But they will definitely reach out. And I feel this is not going to be just a small text. This will be a gesture that makes their intentions clear. It could be an invite to spend time together, a gesture that shows care and that they've been thinking about you, or even a deep, meaningful conversation. Their feelings, what they want with you, it will all be communicated. We've seen this energy before with the Lovers card, but here it's amplified times 100. They want this connection. They see a future with you. The Ten of Pentacles can even talk about a long-term future. This is about building together, living together, marriage, family, a home, a life shared, if that's what you want too. The King of Pentacles adds another layer. This is someone who builds, who plans, who creates a legacy. They're reliable, grounded, responsible, and they want to offer security. With this card, it's not just about feelings, it's about a stable foundation for a long-term connection. Speaking of legacy, again, it can be about building a family. And the Queen of Cups is reassuring us that they're not only thinking practically about a future with you, but also that their feelings are deep and they will express them in time. They care about you, and when they reach out, it will be heartfelt. I also feel that when they do make their move, it's going to be thoughtful. They may be planning the exact words they want to say, the gestures they want to make, or how to approach you in a way that feels right. They don't want to rush. For those of you who might be nervous about this timing, remember, slow pentacle energy is not a sign of disinterest. They're moving carefully because they care deeply, and they want to get it right. Now, let's pull one tarot card for timing, and some oracle cards, again for timing. With tarot, timing is approximate, but sometimes it does point us in a general direction. Let's see what comes up. When are they most likely to reach out? Three of Cups. The number 3 might be significant for some of you, but with this card, I feel the timing is more relative to a shift in feelings or to a moment, rather than indicating a specific date. This can indicate a shift towards a more joyful, relaxed time for both of you, a time where there are no external obstacles, there is just harmony between you. If we reference that past relationship energy we saw earlier, for some of you, this card may indicate the moment where they feel light again after carrying the weight of their previous connection. Or, if it was you who had past wounds, it might indicate the moment they see you happy and moving forward. So, I guess if you show that you're happy, they will reach out. Jokes aside, I want to say that when they will reach out, it will be a meaningful gesture. Not a "what are you doing" text, but something thoughtful. Another meaning of the Three of Cups can be a party or a social gathering, or a celebration. So for some of you, they may reach out during or immediately after a party where you're both present. Let's add some oracle cards. This one says, go towards a new direction. The illustration here really reminds me of the star guiding the hermit, especially with this bridge energy. Maybe you've been very focused on this connection and spirit is asking you to shift your focus. From all the other cards, I wasn't getting an energy of chasing, but if you're often the one initiating contact and reaching out, stop and shift your focus on something else. The next card we have is yes. I feel like that spirit is saying, trust that this connection will happen, but it will not be tomorrow. So stop stressing about it and focus on something else in the meantime. Maybe focus on school more, on work, go out with friends, with family members. Distract yourself from the thought of this connection. It's good for you. And trust that this connection will happen. We also have next couple of months. Number 43. So for some of you, this slow moving energy might take up to 2 months before manifesting. If you're thinking about reaching out yourself, the card about a new direction advises against it. But trust that once they reach out, it will be something meaningful and concrete. It might be the offer of dating, of committing. Trust that the time will come. I want to pull one final oracle card for guidance. Patience and timelessness. Number 28. The message is, I accept everything with patience. This is really on point. The right moment will arrive. Be patient and trust that it will. You don't have to rush, push, or stress over it. The timing is divine, and it will align when the moment is right. Rest assured in the knowledge that this person has feelings for you and they choose you. They want to build something concrete and long-lasting. In the meantime, let your focus shift on yourself. And that brings us to the end of your reading. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope the messages and guidance you received resonated with you and offered some clarity and reassurance. Feel free to leave a comment below, whether it's a thought, a feeling, or even just a little hello. And if you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Silver Vow Tarot for more readings. I'll see you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, Pile 3. If you chose the Healer or the Mystery Black Crystal, this is going to be your reading. The healer in this reading will represent your person. Your energy is represented by the prayer. Right away, there's a sense of care, intention, and spiritual awareness here. The healer is someone who tends to other people's hearts and emotions. They're deeply empathetic and sensitive, often wanting to do the right thing, to nurture and support. At the same time, they can sometimes overanalyze or get caught in the details of how to be right in relationships, which can make them cautious. You, represented by the prayer, have this calm, grounded, and reflective energy. You approach connections with thoughtfulness and intention. You are someone who can hold space for someone else's depth without losing your own center. There's a sense of patience, reverence, and understanding in your energy. You know how to listen, to hold, and to allow someone to reveal themselves at their own pace. Already, this sets up a beautiful dynamic. I see a dynamic where you don't chase, you hope. You leave the door open. Them, as the healer, feel deeply, want to connect, but may need to process their own emotions before fully stepping forward. That can create a tension. From your perspective, it might feel like I'm ready, my heart is open. From their perspective, it might feel like I feel this deeply, but I need to understand it before I act on it. And both of those energies are sincere. They just operate on slightly different timelines. So with that in mind, let's go deeper into their inner world. I'll pull tarot to explore their feelings towards you, not just what they show, but what's going on beneath the surface. Justice. Ace of Swords. Eight of Swords. King of Wands. Two of Pentacles. The Lovers. Some signs coming up are Gemini and Libra, and air signs in general, so also Aquarius. This can be your sun sign or theirs. Maybe they're prominent in your charts, but they don't have to be. This might be confirmation for some of you. Okay, I'm immediately drawn to the fact that we have a lot of swords energy in this spread. A lot of thinking rather than feeling. With this Eight of Swords especially, they might be caught up in their head. There is a strong emphasis on thinking, analyzing, processing, much more than on feeling or acting. What I see most clearly overall is that they think about this connection a lot, but not much might be happening right now. Justice, with the Lovers, points to a very balanced and mutual connection. There is a sense of equality here, of meeting each other. If you had feelings for this person, the cards tell me that they are likely reciprocated. So you're not misreading the connection. With the Ace of Swords clarifying justice, I feel that part of them wants to genuinely move things forward with you. When the timing feels right to them, I can see them wanting to make an offer, wanting to communicate. This can very well indicate them reaching out, a text, an invitation, a meaningful conversation. But what I see clearly is that the timing does not feel right for them at the moment. Where justice calls for equilibrium, the Two of Pentacles disrupts it. Where justice longs for clarity, the Eight of Swords denies them any. So internally, they're torn. They may want to act, but they don't feel settled enough mentally or practically to do so yet. The Eight of Swords points, as I mentioned, to overthinking. Honestly, those worries might be unrelated to you, but I feel that for the majority of you, they might be overthinking this connection. They might be worrying about misstepping, making a mistake, saying the wrong thing, coming out as someone they're not. All the examples coming to me are about them, not you. And I want to point this out. They are not overthinking you, they're overthinking themselves. This card also speaks to feeling stuck, blocked, or restricted by one's own thoughts. And in the context of a connection, this can absolutely point to a fear of rejection, a fear that you might not reciprocate their feelings or that you might not receive their gesture the way they hope. What's really interesting to me is that the King of Wands comes in to clarify this Eight of Swords. This tells me that they're not usually like this. The King of Wands is someone naturally confident, bold, decisive, someone who normally takes initiative, who trusts themselves, who doesn't hesitate. When they want something, they usually go after it. So the fact that they're stuck in their head like this tells me that this connection is genuinely throwing them off balance. They're finding this connection hard to navigate, and it's unusual for them. With the Two of Pentacles showing up, I feel that their life might be very busy right now. Maybe they have a busy schedule with work, classes, social events, family obligations, other commitments. And because they're represented by the healer archetype, they may be overextending themselves for other people. They may be the one everyone relies on, the one who supports, fixes, listens, helps. They might not have the time and energy to dedicate to your connection. They might be waiting for a moment where their life is more stable, like justice craves. And we have the Lovers clarifying this Two of Pentacles, which I feel are here to ground all of this scattered, chaotic energy. The Lovers reminds us that despite the uncertainty, the busyness, the chaos they might be in, underneath it all, there is the stability of your connection. They might be overthinking a lot of things. They might be overthinking how you perceive them, how to show up, how to make a gesture towards you. But they are not overthinking what you mean to them. The Lovers at its core talks about choice, and they are choosing you. Even if they're stuck in their head, even if they're juggling too much right now, I get the feeling this is a new connection for most of you. Feelings are not running incredibly deep yet. There is a lot of overthinking that makes me think of, do they like me? Do they not? We have this ace representing a beginning. I feel that the Lovers indicates them having a sense that this is an important connection, one that could have long-term significance, teach personal lessons, not necessarily because it's already intense, but because it could become something meaningful. If this is not a new connection, if you've been dating this person for a while, or if you're in a relationship with this person, the Lovers tells me that they feel a deep bond with you, and the overthinking comes from frustration. They may feel that right now they cannot give you the time or presence they would like to. Either way, the message is the same at its core. They're choosing you, even if they're not moving forward as you'd like. They're just very busy and very trapped in their own head right now. About this Eight of Swords, I'm called to pull clarifiers. I want to draw a couple of oracle cards because it's a very layered energy. Let's see. We have seeking attention, needing validation, desperate and pushy. The second card says deep love, soul connection, feeling at home. I feel that the first card points to their overthinking. This person is worried about coming across as pushy or emotionally exposed. They don't want to feel like they're chasing, pushing, or asking for reassurance, especially if they're usually someone represented by the King of Wands. Confident, bold, assured. They might be overthinking about how they come across. If they make an offer with this Ace of Swords, if they communicate, would they come off as seeking attention or needing validation? They're policing themselves, second-guessing, reaching out. Now, the second oracle card points directly to the Lovers. Deep love, soul connection. This might be what some of you are feeling. The Lovers can even speak to soulmates. If that's how you feel, this might be confirmation. If not, I want to say that in general, there's a sense of comfort here, familiarity, emotional safety. Even if the connection is new, There's something about you that feels grounding to them, like you make sense in their life, like being around you feels natural. And this is where the tension comes in. They overthink every action, every step they might take, because this connection feels important to them. So, will they reach out? And if yes, when? Let's get some tarot. 3 of Wands. 9 of Wands. Ace of Wands. The Empress. So, first of all, it's a yes, but it's a quite layered yes. Let's start from this 3 of Wands. They take measured, careful steps. They pause, they reflect, they strategize. But the 3 of Wands tells me they act. I'm also noticing that here there is not a single sword. They're not in their head anymore. They're no longer stuck in internal debate. This is not someone frozen in indecision. They act. This is someone who has thought things through and is now looking ahead. But there is the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands is a very guarded energy. This is someone who has been through things emotionally, mentally, and doesn't open up all at once. So the first communication you receive might be cautious, very contained. It might feel casual on the surface, safe, neutral. For some of you, you might even think, is this it? But I want to be clear, this isn't disinterest. This is self-protection. They're approaching you carefully because they don't want to get hurt and they don't want to come on too strong. This ties back to that 8 of Swords energy, the fear of being exposed, of misstepping, of appearing too needy or exposed. Now, the Ace of Wands changes the tone entirely. There's excitement, curiosity, a pull toward you that feels energizing. This tells me that when they do reach out is driven by interest and desire to engage. And I feel that this reaching out may feel playful, light, spontaneous. For some of you, flirty. For others, it might come across as enthusiasm, humor. They're leading with energy, not the emotional heaviness of the 9 of Wands anymore. So the first interactions between you might feel casual, light, even underwhelming. You might feel their guardedness. They don't want to do too much. They don't want to get exposed. But with time, the energy shifts. The Ace of Wands tells me that interactions become clearer, more expressive, more decisive. The guardedness softens. The enthusiasm comes through. I feel that this Empress is how they see you through their eyes. Someone warm, empathetic. Someone who feels good to be around. Someone who doesn't require them to perform or prove themselves. This also tells me that even if their initial approach feels guarded or casual, you are not being approached lightly. The Empress doesn't get chosen without intention. This card tells me that they're drawn to your presence, your energy, your way of being. So, yes, they will reach out. It may start cautiously, but it's rooted in genuine interest, and it grows from there. Timing-wise, this spread suggests movement, but not instantly. And speaking of timing, we'll pull one tarot card and some oracle cards to answer the question, when are they most likely to reach out? With tarot, timing is approximate, but sometimes it does point us in a general direction. Let's see what comes up. The World. What I feel here is that they will reach out when a cycle in their life closes, when something is completed, when something they're currently dealing with wraps up. This could be a phase, a responsibility, a situation that's been taking up a lot of their mental and emotional energy. Earlier, we saw that this might be a busy period for them. Maybe this card points to the end of that period. The World tells me that once that chapter is finished, once they feel a sense of resolution or wholeness again, that's when they move forward with you. And that's in line with justice, because justice needs equilibrium. They don't want to reach out when things feel uncertain, or when they don't have the capacity for this connection. Also, the World is number 21, so that number might be significant for some of you. It could point to timing around the 21st, or it may simply be a personal sign or confirmation. Let's add some oracle cards to see what supports this timing and what energy surrounds it. Opportunities. I feel that this speaks to multiple opportunities for reaching out, for interactions, multiple openings, moments where reaching out feels possible again. We saw that they're very much in their head, juggling things, feeling blocked by circumstances. Opportunities tells me that once that cycle shown by the world closes, life starts to create space again. This can look like their schedule opening up, responsibilities easing, emotional bandwidth returning, or even chance moments where you cross paths. I'm also thinking back to the Eight of Swords. When you're stuck in your head, everything feels blocked, but once clarity returns, suddenly you realize there were opportunities all along. Also, the illustration of the card makes me feel like you will be inundated with communications. Once interactions begin, they will be flowing. Even the world can speak to abundance. This can absolutely translate into more frequent communication. The next card we have is timing is pushed back due to blockages. Number 40. It really reminds me of justice waiting for clarity and balance. Justice is currently fighting with the Eight of Swords for clarity and with the Two of Pentacles for balance. So, yes, there are blockages. The blockages are not emotional blockages toward you. They're mental, circumstantial, and practical. This delay is not because they're unsure about you. It's because they're unsure about their capacity right now. The world already told us that once the blockages are lifted, they will reach out. They don't want to reach out halfway. That's very healer energy. Healers often pause when they're overwhelmed, when they're carrying too much, when they feel responsible for others. They don't want to bring someone into chaos. They want to show up whole. Okay, let's pull another card, pile 3. I don't want to leave you hanging. And the card says, let it be a mystery. Okay, I feel like Spirit is really saying you don't need to know this part yet. This can be frustrating, especially when you care, when you're waiting, when you want certainty. But Spirit is saying, trust that it will happen and release the need for knowing when. This is where your energy, the prayer, becomes really important. The prayer is about trust. It's about surrender without giving up. It's about releasing control while still holding intention. It's saying, I don't need all the answers right now to stay open. This reading has already shown you what you needed to know. They care. They think about you. They will move toward you. The delay is not rejection. So if you're watching this and feeling anxious, checking your phone, wondering when, this is your sign to slow down. Breathe. Focus your prayer energy on other things in your life. Okay, pile 3, let's pull one final card for guidance. Recurring Thoughts and Solutions, number 24. The message says, I am open for the divine solution, which helps me solve my problems. I think there is a double message. First, the mention of recurring thoughts. I feel like you might need to release the desire for certainty in this connection right now. If you find yourself asking the same questions over and over, do they like me? Will they reach out? Should I say something? This card is asking you to pause, slow down, take a step back. Trust that what's meant for you will move when the time is right. It's already in motion, and you're being guided to trust that it will arrive naturally. On this note, I also want to mention that if you're thinking to reach out first, I must warn you, they're not in the right headspace. They would welcome a message from you, but they don't have the mental capacity beyond replying warmly to that message. This card is asking you to exercise patience and to let things unfold naturally. And that brings us to the end of your reading. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope the messages that came through offered you some clarity and reassurance. Remember, take what resonates and release the rest. If this reading spoke to you, feel free to leave a comment below, whether it's a thought, a feeling, or just a hello. And if you enjoyed this reading, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to Silver Veil Tarot for more readings. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.